Hello guys, how are you doing today? Um, Today I will go on with my sessions, and I just want to talk about this is happiness and self-esteem, or self-esteem with happiness, part 6. Today I just want to let you know that there are some other more things that you need to take care of. Expectation, com- comparison, and staying out of your zone. Let me start with the expectation. You know, in our life, in our daily life, in our family and the community, and even at the school, we grow up, we are nurtured by the perspectives that we have to expect something. For example, at school, we are totally taught and inclined to it that if we pass well, we are going to be rich and we are going to manage so many material things in our life. Our family, our environment, our teachers, they keep pushing it. Fixatish, pushing it in our mind, push it in our ear that if we get high grades, then we be employed, we're going to be managers and directors. 90% of the community in Africa, especially at schools, most of the students believe that they will be rich, they love money, and they'll be employed. This kind of tradition, this kind of thought, this kind of mentality has driven so many young people into trouble, into self-doubt, uh, internal conflicts, unsettled mind, and even unsettled thoughts that, okay, I've graduated now. Where do I go? I don't see the things that I was expecting to have. And luckily, bad enough, when you go back home, your parents, your siblings, your young brothers and brothers, they look at you like, okay, we expected you to be that way. Why you are here without all the things? You start even to keep on doubting yourself, keep on thinking, unproductively. You start to feel down, you lose your self-esteem, and later, eventually, you become unhappy. This community, say at the family, they may, ask you some things like, you are back now, can you get the job? It's like all things are up to you now. So, because what you have been putting in your mind and your expectation was, if I graduate, I will be employed. So it becomes, it's like a point of confusion now, because what you were expecting is not happening. The family push you to deliver the expectation which was in line with your expectation that you are going to be employed. Because we normally believe that what other people, what family and community believe, and our adults, is the fact. So later on, you feel like you are not living in a fact way. You're not living the reality, because what people believes, what family believes, is not what is happening to you. So that develops stress, insomnia sometimes, delusional illness sometimes, fantasy, and day after day your mind will become distracted, and you may lose the value and the ability to even excel more in your environment by exploiting the potentials allowed. So they see you are not getting job, then they may start to ask about your performance. How do you perform at school? We hope you could have been you could have been getting A's so that this could be simple for you to qualify for a job interview and be employed. So you see, it's a series of confusion from why you're not employed. What did you learn at the school? How did you perform? Okay, say you performed well, and they will again ask why you are not getting employed. Perhaps you are not looking for jobs. Later, they'll say, what you have been learning, I think, is not expertise enough, because you seem like you are getting A's in. So it will be the series of justifications, excuse and reason why you are not meeting the expectation, while positioning you in a very dangerous and unsettled point of life, and that automatically will bring unhappiness in your life. So the solution is try to know, if you're a student now, or if you're a graduate, or if you're a guardian watching this video, try to share with other people so that they can be aware that expectations sometimes hurt and may bring unhappiness and life chaos and even some mental problem in later. So you don't have to expect too much. Just try to put alternatives in your life. Live like a buoyant, be like a buoyant or lotus leaf on the water. Not all the time things will be straight, and try to fit in different things. If you're at school, learn something out of your school curriculum, either sports, play games, music, try to be a drum guy, anything that may support your existence there after school. Well, people make expectation different perspectives. Sometimes in love, people expect too much. In love is half. Some psychologists say love is when you can express it halfway, not fully. And you can feel love when you express it. That's when you feel love. So when you give a half of love, say passion, romantic and all that, we expect the same way from the spouse, from our partners. Okay, so the 50% is all about you. You have to also to love yourself. Do you understand? And the 50% you love your partner, because this balances the expectation, and it will tranquilize your love affair, your mental state, and how you conduct life in a lovely day, in each day. So expecting that my partner will ask me, what have I eaten this afternoon? Sometimes what if she doesn't ask you? Perhaps she's so occupied. Perhaps she has some other issues. We're human beings, and sometimes every day when you wake up, you have new things in your mind, and you may be learning some other things to control them. It can be your family issues that your partner is not aware of, or any kind of obsession that you haven't yet controlled. So you don't have to expect that much, because you may expect that she's going to ask you how was your meal at noon, and she doesn't call you, she doesn't text you. If that was with full of expectation, you may start to feel bad and create doubt why she doesn't ask me if I've eaten. And the solution is to ask her back. The solution is to try to deliver love, as I've been saying, a 50% just by either you can just be the one to start texting her and ask how she's doing and whether if she has done such and such. So to be happy, somebody has to control the expectation. You don't have to put much expectation in people, in environment, in neighborhood, anything can happen. And if you are not positioned yet to accept anything that can happen, then that will hurt you. Okay, and if you cannot control that hurt, may go further and cause some kind of, unsettlement of your life. Because some few days I went out, and I met one of the friends to whom sometimes back he was healthier, he was, looking good, but I think he's going some kind of, mental problems. I mean, not mental problem, some psychological, some traumatic issues, because he's not employed, and I don't know how he perceived that. So ending up in total indulgence of alcohol, excessive alcohol, cigarettes, and so you become dirty, you don't clean your clothes, you become so thin, perhaps you don't eat properly, and your physical appearance start to degrade, and you become somebody weird. People may also start to run away from you. So we didn't have time to talk, but I tried to tell some other people to whom they are so close that they may need to look so closely to the guy. um the third thing is your zone. Okay, I talked about expectation, comparison, and zone. So let me continue with the comparison. They are not so different from expectation to um, comparison, because when you expect too much, you start to compare that perhaps if I reach that stage, I can be like that one. I can feel like that one. I can look like that one. Yes, it's not bad to compare, but you also have to balance your comparison, because when you compare too much and you don't feel like you are reaching the level of comparison to look alike with what you were expecting, you may start to feel hurt again. You may also misbehave, or you may start to hate other people because of what they are and what you are not really trying to resemble. So, comparison is a disease, is a poison that we have also to control. Because people have different dreams and goals. So if you compare, sometimes you may necessarily need to follow some procedures or steps of other people or some groups to reach where they are. And that cannot be the same. You may end up failing and causing distraction and even becoming unhappy. Okay, so let's say you are comparing with somebody and you are not achieving his, parameters. So you switch. Will you switch and start to compare with the other person, trying to find the level that you can really, So comparison is, I can say, yes, you can just compare and admire some things that you wish you can become, but try to not to put much comparison in your heart, and and be inclined to it. Like, you have to resemble somebody, you have to live like somebody, or because somebody is eating 4 times a day, then I have to eat that way. People will think I'm also a better person. This way will cause you to become unhappy, you see. So yes, I can just give you one example. I remember sometimes back, I am from the charity, so I was sponsored with some family from United States. So Dick and Mary, thank you, the Smith family, John, Sherry, Lola, Paul, etc. They sponsored me, and I remember the sponsorship is only through intermediary, that we have a organization which connect you with your sponsor. So you cannot do the direct communication. It is not allowed, and it is out of the contract. So being now child, I tried to communicate with my sponsors directly. So they came to realize that, and I was warned. It was very strictly warning, and even my sponsors was also warned not to make direct communication. And if I send them an email directly, once again they have to report me, and I have to be retired from the program and go back to my poor Iceland in the street. No education, no what. But I never stopped it. I kept, communicating them, and we started our secret communication. Well, that was my trial, trying and error, trying to reach my people to see how I can have my achievement and, prosperize the history of my life, because it wasn't allowed. Many other children tried to do that, and I remember they were taken out of the program immediately after being discovered. Their education ended there, their journey of life ended there, only because they wanted to be similar as I, which wasn't possible. Because I tried it and I was successful, because I am me and everyone has his own path. So we better have unique ways of achieving some point of life without comparing that. Sometimes I was trying to compare myself with say people who come back to Tanzania from United States. I thought they are the best people than people who were educated within the country. So it's like, I'm not better than them. But later on, I came to discover what makes you better is your hardworking, say, in reading, analyzing, using YouTube sometimes to train yourself. Yes, you can have expertise and you can be better. Like perhaps people who came back to Tanzania after getting their education abroad, the way they behave, the way they talk, the way they expose themselves, you may think that's just because of their university. Yes, it could be, civilization different, but when you sit down and learn, you can be like him. You can even behave better than him. So ending up comparing, you may start to criticize him, you may start to feel like he's better than you, and you may develop anything, who knows. But trying to understand that you can have your own unique way to learn, and it doesn't matter. So to me, I came to realize I can be educated in Tanzania and be a better person all over the world. And some people may be educated in Tanzania and may fail to be civilized and show their potentiality all over the world. Same applies to people who comes from abroad, who were Tanzanian and went abroad for education. They're just back here. Some may behave well and some may behave poor. So self-determination and how unique you are in trying to achieve your goals, that may also be one of the things to bring happiness in your life. Stop comparing, because everyone has his own problem and the issues. When you see me happy, you don't know deep inside what things do I face behind the skin. Okay, so you have to love and be inspired. At least you can ask, hey, you are doing this and that, I'm inspired, how can I be like you? Or what is so special with you? But the answer could be no, be yourself. That could be the answer, be yourself. Because when you try to be yourself, that's how you can make the world a better place. Because everyone should show his uniqueness in journey of life, so that we can have different history and people learn from different angles of life and perspectives. Stop expecting too much, control your expectation, balance your life, and try some alternatives. Don't compare. Comparison hurts and may make you unhappy. The last thing was the zone. I was having a joke with one of my friends who majored in education, and he's a teacher. Often he may complain about life, and he's a teacher now, and he may complain that teachers are not paid well sometimes, and he may still tell me that if we go for a master degree, then he'll be rich, and perhaps he will switch from the career he is. So I told him that, hey, you seem like you spend much time with your colleague, with other teachers, and it seems like you share things a lot, and you become your own group, you know. So I told him that, mediocre people please one another. So if you think and if you want to explore new things, try to be out of your comfort zone. Try to be out of the zone. Try not to be like other people. Don't share too much the belief that you have. You know, certain group of people in our community, for example, teachers, may always complain that they are not paid well, the government doesn't, care them. They may need loans, they may need housing, they may have riots multiple times. So if you spend too much with that group, you may start to feel the same, and that may be your own way to live now. So try to go out of the zone, try to meet new people, try to see the world in different perspectives, and see what you can achieve better than the other. Okay, so I told him that, and at the time when we were talking, he wasn't aware enough, and he was kind of reluctant to listen what I was telling. But later on, after 2 months, he called me and he was like, Michael, you are right. Michael, you are right. Always we talk about this and that, this and that. I was like, okay, now you have to shift. Like, to me, I would recommend you to try, say, read different books. Self-helping books would be great. Use your YouTube channel, use your YouTube, try to use your phone to Google some new things. Like, this is speech of Peterson. Peterson, the video titled, "The most people I know are dangerous people." So you may have something to learn from that. So it is a series of trying new things. It can be a good book. Yes, sometimes, let's say in weekend, try to go somewhere. You can just go to the beach, you can just go to the good mall, try to stay there, try to see the life, try to see the environment and how people behave and live. Like one day I went to a club, so I didn't have money that much. So I stayed there with my own local beer, very local beer. But there were a certain group of people, they were ordering Hennes. A lot of Hennes were just going that way. And one Hennes is about my length, my monthly length, about 200,000. And people were ordering a lot of them, view passing by my way. And I was like, wow, that's great. Where do those people get money? How do they look like? Where do they work? Can I talk to them? So you become interested in so many things which are great, and try your own way to achieve that. So don't settle on your zone. Try to go up, try new things, try to induce your mind with new thoughts, challenges, ideas, and analytical thoughts to see what can I do better than the other. It works. I hope so, and it gives you a challenge to move up and be an interesting person and equip the world like a man, and enjoy the life and be happy. Thank you. Enjoy your day, enjoy your week. All the best.